all you taters and spuds out there, this is Guy.
And this is Ariatte.
And here we are looking at another match. We have here Carni's Dark Alice deck versus Ariatte's
Crimson Girl.
Yes, Crimson Girl, that's the one. Okay, we're cutting, we're shuffling, we're getting ready. So, from what I've heard, there's a little bit of background to the idea of this match. Carni had placed second not too long ago, and someone made a challenge. Someone issued a challenge saying that if I had just switched out to Crimson Girl, then it would have been able to cancel out the Dark Alice. It would have been able to catch someone. So I hear that she was trying to test this out today, trying to see if an entire deck built around using Crimson Girl could actually thwart the massive negative field that Dark Alice is capable of giving out. So here we are seeing that infamous first turn scored of Dark Alice play. How did that feel?
Wasn't too bad. It was just a griddle. It's a little bit of a setback, but I was hoping, hey, maybe at least wasn't a behemoth. Maybe I can actually bring it out.
Absolutely. We're seeing that Ariatte come into play now. I'm pretty sure Ariatte gives a lot of protection here. By the way, this is another match that I haven't actually seen as of yet. So, oh, well, there goes Ariatte with the stoning to death. Let's not forget that Ariatte only protects you during your opponent's turn. They can feel free to blow it down during your turn if they have instants on hand. So it looks like we're getting to that second magic stone, that second turn. Does she have the griddle? No, she does not as of yet. So we're going into the next turn. We have those two magic stones of Scorched Spills in the black, and Mysterious, she leaves all three open. You know what that means when you're going up against a black player like that, especially with Carni's namesake. All you need is kill, and we got, how unfortunate, the one time you use the griddle, you get the one non-green stone in your magic deck. Isn't that how it always happens?
Yes, that's just my luck.
That's just how it happens. It's so painful, and it looks like we're already getting, we're already seeing the cards removed. We're already seeing the tokens, well, yes, the tokens, I suppose, being thrown onto Dark Alice, and all she needs at one point is to take one more card from the graveyard, and she could already bring out her Dark Alice. And we were seeing the Dark Arthur here. We're already seeing the negatives hit forward, and if it wasn't for Refarth, that griddle would have been gone. So try not to underestimate the power of Arthur, especially when we start seeing a second Arthur on board. When we start seeing another Dark Alice, we're getting to the -4, -6, -8. Although all she needs to do at this point is, well, all Ariatte needed to do at this point was to flip the Crimson Girl to start negating those negatives. But we're seeing Priscia come on board right now, and Priscia has been super huge in this deck. Actually, I'm surprised I'm not seeing more Crimson Girl decks, just because we have that Priscia Resonator. We have the ability to beef her up tremendously, make her gigantic. What are your thoughts on Priscia and the Crimson Girl deck?
She's perfect for her because there's so many things that up her attack, and with Crimson Girl, it just doubles it. And her herself, actually.
What is the biggest Priscia you've been able to get thus far?
Probably around 2,000 attack.
And my heart breaks. My heart breaks to see that gorgeous Priscia immediately stoning to death. It's just, I wish I could have seen it last longer on the field. I suppose perhaps maybe. I see you're contemplating bringing out the Crimson Girl at this point.
Yeah, because at this point there's nothing else I could do. Every single Resonator I've had has just been stoned to death. That
actually makes me think about something. The sheer fact of the matter is, this far we're going into turn 4, turn 5, and Carni hasn't actually summoned anything until turn 4 with Arthur. There was no, I haven't seen a Rasputin yet. I haven't seen a Mozart. And at the same time, it feels like she's just taking away everything.
She's been using all her stones to get rid of my Resonator.
Right? It's just, I never really thought that as, like, something that didn't have bodies on board would be able to last this long, but it's just been answer after answer after answer. And speaking of, we're seeing that cat hit field. And I have to say, you must be very, very happy to have that rebirth on field, because my goodness, seeing everything get hit so hard by just a single Arthur, and it looks like one was removed from play already, so we're seeing the Dark Alice prepped and ready to throw down. And there it is, being flipped. She got the kill, and of course she's, oh, there we go with the God's Art, and there's Schrodinger. Schrodinger is a fantastic card, I think. Just the sheer fact that it could be a magic stone is great. I actually, honestly, okay, going into a little bit about Alice the Fairy Queen. If you could have used Excalibur to tap for any stone, that would be great. The sheer fact that it's only for fairies really hurts. It's just so painful to see. So what were you thinking at that point where you're staring down that growing board presence of -4, -4?
I'm not gonna win. That's what I was thinking.
You weren't thinking of flipping your Crimson Girl, getting her on the field, and getting rid of those negatives?
I could, but in the end, you know, she still has more Stoning Deaths, more Flames of the Outer World. I figured every time I bring out a monster, it's probably gonna die, even with Crimson Girl.
So I see you're counting up your stones here, probably planning on making a big push forward, some sort of big play here. Funniest part is that I almost fell into the trap at this point of seeing, well, she only has one stone open, right? There's probably not much that she can do. Oh, there's that Ratatasker. But yeah, there's probably not much she can do at this point. But the Schrodinger is another stone, so technically she does have those two stones open, and Flamed of Outer World. My goodness, there goes that poor Ratatasker. You lost the ability right there to flash in your guys. I mean, I just, at this point, I wonder if Black, with all those kill spells, is just such a huge deterrent to this deck in particular. Do you think at this point it was basically just a bad matchup?
It was an awful one-sided matchup, yes.
Speaking of, we finally see our next Resonator. There's the Mozart, and there is 40 Thieves, so I see she's looking for answers that technically probably don't need. Although, looking at the 5 stones open, I'm assuming you actually had that hope in there, didn't you?
Yeah, I was gonna quick cast Behemoth, but Ratatasker died at the end of the turn, so I couldn't.
That poor Ratatasker. Honestly, though, for you folks watching at home, never underestimate the power of Ratatasker. Never underestimate the ability to be able to flash in a Behemoth for a quick block, because that could almost certainly spill games sometimes. Just taking that 1500 to face without much of a care in the world. It's honestly brutally terrifying when you think about it at times, especially if you can beef up that Behemoth. So I take it at this point, you're finally thinking of perhaps bringing out the Little Red, am I right?
Yeah, just to maybe live another turn at this point.
Absolutely. And another thing that a lot of people, or at least as far as I know, Little Red may be within range of Flame of Outer World, but can't be targeted by it. As far as I remember, she can't be targeted by the red, she can't be targeted by the black spells, so there is really no fear about being double thundered. There's no real fear about being Flamed of Outer World as soon as she's out and live, but it looks like, oh, there is the Behemoth, and bye Behemoth. It's just so painful to keep seeing that. It seemed as though you would have had it. You would have had it. If only. And yes, that -4 on board. It's painful to see that there are a lot of things that simply don't survive. And at this point, I'm definitely seeing game. So that's game 1 thus far. Oh, and there is the beastly attack. There's a rapid growth, and it's just, I could have seen it. I could have seen game. I could have seen surprise game. I've always liked seeing what would happen when someone just flashes in Behemoth with Ratatasker, and with the stones open, which it might happen if you have enough ramp. throwing in the beastly attack, it would literally be surprise game right there. Thus far though, we're seeing that in spite of the fact, well, all those times that you could have flipped Crimson Girl, why didn't you?
I just felt like it wouldn't really make a difference, right? Then I felt like I needed to just have resonators out there to block.
True, although, keep in mind, at the very least, that, no matter how many stoning to death she had, no matter how many Flames of the Outer World, no matter how many Endless Nights, you would never actually be able to stoning to death your J-Res.
True, but she could run over her if I were to block using her.
Well, that is true. Dark Alice has target attack too. Although at the same time you have those rapid growths in his hand, but it looks like we're going into game 2 here. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what's going on, especially with the Crimson Girl player going first. Now, looking at a lot of this Shadow Alice stuff going on, in the midst of my speaking, I saw that there was an Endless Night in hand, along with a bunch of other things, and I've noticed something. Where are the Shadow Resonators?
She mostly plays kill spells. I don't think she needs that many Shadow Resonators.
I mean, yeah, it's just interesting. I haven't seen Haster. I haven't seen the Joan of Arc. I haven't seen a lot of the cards that other Alice decks have been toting, besides, you know, Flame. Well, actually, I haven't even seen Flame of the World used that much either. I haven't seen her hard cast Schrodinger as well. I've just kill. That's all I've seen. Just bloody murder. And, well, never mind, there's that Mozart. Mozart definitely is one of the best blockers in the game as of right now, I feel, because no matter what happens, it's definitely going to take something with it. And it's great. It is certainly great fodder for Incarnation, just being able to chump it and to throw something down. I mean, it's just painful. Unlike Shadow Assassin, unlike One Inch Boy, if you thunder Mozart, it's over. You're getting it. Oh, and it looks. Speaking of, looks like we're getting to the Incarnate play right there, and it got Zeexed. It got Zeexed. That's very painful right there. But it looks like afterwards it's Spiral Despair. So no matter what, it looked like Nyarlathotep actually succeeded in taking a card from your hand, basically. Even if it was cancelled, it took the Zeeks out, and then the Spiral Despair took out the other two cards. Speaking of, I would still really like to see a Pandora deck. At this point, I think it might be huge at some point or another. Do you think that you might actually be able to put together a deck for Pandora?
Yeah, honestly, I've always been interested in making a Pandora deck. I mean, A, because she's cute, and B, I think it'd be nice, you know, for her to be a kill spell. You know, just the right time it could be gamed depending on the resonators you have.
Well, that's horrifying to watch. We have on board already a flying behemoth. On what is this? Carni's turn 4, turn 5? That must have been one hell of a thing to just to stare down at. A flying 15 fit. Oh, what is that? Oh, never mind. That's Spiral of Despair again. All I didn't do was just sitting here wondering, thinking,
and
there it comes.
Stoning to death, and it dies.
Stoning to death. My goodness. Time and time and time and time and time again. At this point, I'm surprised you two are still together.
Now, I mean, I'm the one who kind of gave her the idea for the kill spell deck in the first place.
So, you were the master of your own undoing, essentially.
Yes, I was.
Well, it looks like you're finally throwing down that little red. I take it you honestly really didn't want to deal with any more of those negatives in this game, did you?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I honestly wouldn't either. It just looks so aggravating, more or less, to see all of your things waste away into nothing. And at last, we're seeing damage put on board, which is great. It looks like she's flipping those cards, she's thinking, and we have the Rasputin on board. So it looks like this game, at the very least, we're seeing more at this point, there's just no feeling more tense than seeing this girl with 4 stones open. Especially when 3 of those are scorched bales. Although at the same time, you still have that little which just can't be targeted. Which is great. And it looks like you still swing in. You got that power flip. You're getting that damage in. Like a good friend used to tell me, if you're not attacking, you're not winning. Do you actually feel that to be the case?
Sometimes, because you always want to leave blockers open, because you never know what kind of big monsters your opponent's going to bring out this stage of the game.
Absolutely, and speaking of big blockers... speaking about big blockers at this point, we did have the Rasputin actually take the damage. That is another useful thing about Rasputin, the fact that she can just sit there, take a punch in the face, and you only take 200 in comparison, because that would have been a nasty 10 to take to face. But it looks like Dark Alice is about to get flipped once again. The sheer fact that he could flip her for free by basically just putting money down is just like any other investment. I feel it feels as though once you finally take that money out of the bank and being able to do so much ridiculousness for free, it's just wild, you know. It's maddening. And there it is again, that Schrodinger. So we finally get to see, now that that Crimson Girl's on the field, we get to see what is going to happen when we have those negatives on board completely canceled out. Will that stop the Dark Alice? Will that stop the will that stop what she's capable of doing at this point? And once again, I am curious as to why she decided not to run the Shadow Tribal. I mean, that seems to be just all the rage as of now, just throwing in all those shadows, Alice's Shadow Warrior, Alice's Shadow Scout, we got the Dark Varia and all those other things, especially since he likes kill. Why do you think that she decided to run something other than Dark Varia?
It looks like she wants to concentrate on just pretty much debuffing her opponent's Resonator's attack, slowly killing them.
Yep, well, definitely that's where that's gonna go, and we see trying to use that Zeke's there, and there he goes. Zeke's is definitely made for this deck. There's just so much that it is capable of doing in this. You're able to stop those reanimator plays and buff your, beef up your guys, and all sorts of other things. It is really nice to see Zeke's being able to throw down and do well. Folks, you guys at home, definitely shouldn't ever underestimate the power that Crimson Girl really has. I would like to see more gameplay of this at some point or another. Maybe I might even take a taste myself one of these days. But I remember that there are a lot of people who are trying to make, you know, the Priscia deck, like the Priscia with the tremendous amount of attack points and all that crazy shenanigans. From what I'm seeing here, don't give up hope. Don't give up hope at all, because in any other situation, it would have killed. It would have been completely crazy, I think. So it looks like you're trying your best to go down as far as you can. There's that beastly attack, and let's see, with the flying carpet, I'm definitely sure that it has basically nowhere to really, like, there's no way of blocking it. So I take it at this point you're dead set on getting in as much damage on board as you possibly could.
Yes.
And there she goes below the half life point threshold. Will she be able to make it? Will she be able to make it past this? Once again, I'm so sorry for you folks who are going on full screen, but looking at the time, I have this feeling. And that established board is still completely crazy. So, digging into the last few minutes, I do have a few questions. Do you actually feel as though Crimson Girl slowed down Dark Alice?
Yeah, she slowed it down, but I don't really see her being able to win very easily.
At the very least against this, right?
Yeah, against Dark Alice, of course, just Dark Alice.
Do you think that she would actually have a better time against other decks?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that for sure. A lot of people underestimate just the sheer overwhelming power of Pump. And that is definitely what this deck has, and it is painful to see that Ratatasker wasn't more used to its fullest potential. I really do love that annoying little rat, even when I'm going up against it. So it looks like she's making that final push to try and get you down from all those 4,000 life points. Definitely interested in seeing where that goes. And there goes the rat. Very sad to see. So, any advice for the boys and girls at home for building the Crimson Girl?
Just put in all the behemoths you can and all the griddles for the ramp to bring out the behemoths, and pretty much it.
Alright, well, that's entirely understandable at this point. Would you actually still be willing to use your Crimson Girl again? Do you think that she's actually competitive worthy?
Yes, as long as you don't go up against Dark Alice.
As long as you don't go up against Dark Alice. Yes, I see. So it looks like she's making yet another play, and there's the Ariatte that watching it get hardcast, despite the fact that there are 2 Rasputins on board, a little questionable. But, well, then again, there's a lot of things in theory that are questionable, and we're seeing the attempt to go full on in. And let's see, does she have game? Does she have game yet? Possibly soon. So we're running out of time. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to sit down with us, drink your coffee, and watch 2 gorgeous girls brutalize each other over pumps and minuses. This has been Guy.
And this has been Ariatte.
And we're looking forward to giving you all more content. Now feel free to like, link, comment, subscribe. We're definitely going to be doing more of this in the future. We're hoping that we'll be able to put in more of a variety of different programs, and we hope that you'll all really like what we have in store. Also, as it turns out, Happy New Year! Our New Year's resolutions: don't die. And, well, I suppose that's it. There it goes. We were able to see the Priscian. That's very nice. And, well, goodbye, Dark Alice. I see that she didn't even decide to chump it, but there it is. And there's game.